StrosToday.com attorneys challenging and defending the Biden administration immigration policy in federal court today in Victoria. Investigators looking into what caused a driver to crash in Riverside Park last night. And Goliad County officials tell what caused Goliad High School to be evacuated Wednesday.
A few showers, pop-up showers in the area, but it didn't really make a difference because we're right back to the 100-degree weather after getting knocked down. We'll talk all about it. But first, here's Gino.
And the athlete of the week had an outstanding outing and is a part of the best team in the state. We hear from her in sports.
You're watching 25 News now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Don Brubaker. Karina Garcia has the night off. Unlike his bookings for 3 other batches of charges, this is a first, a mugshot of a former American president. Donald Trump and 18 others indicted last week, accused of taking part in a conspiracy to overturn his presidential election loss to Democrat Joe Biden.
Tonight, former President Donald Trump officially arrested, fingerprinted, and processed at the Fulton County Jail in Georgia. The first ever mugshot of a former American president now released. After arriving in his motorcade this evening, he was in and out within a half hour, released on a $200,000 bond and a pledge he won't threaten any potential witnesses, including on social media. This is the 4th time Trump is facing felony criminal charges in the past few months. These charges stem from Trump's alleged efforts to overturn the results of Georgia's 2020 presidential election. The 2024 GOP frontrunner claiming this case is politically motivated.
What has taken place here is a travesty of justice. What they're doing is election interference. They're trying to interfere with an election. There's never been anything like it in our country before.
Ahead of traveling to Atlanta, Trump shook up his legal team, adding Steve Sadow, a well-known Atlanta criminal defense attorney.
I think we're really looking at what is his relationship going to be, given that he's hired some pretty good attorneys for this very, very serious case against him.
Many of Trump's alleged co-conspirators have turned themselves in before the Friday noon deadline, including former Chief of Staff Mark Meadows today. Meadows has a hearing set for Monday to determine whether his case will be moved to federal court. Former Justice Department official Jeffrey Clark is also seeking to move his case to federal court. His hearing is set for September 18th. Another one of Trump's co-defendants, lawyer Kenneth Chesebro, requested a speedy trial, and District Attorney Fani Willis proposed October 23rd, which was approved by the judge overseeing the case. The former president is back in Bedminster tonight, but not for long. He'll have to return to Atlanta soon for a court date. M. Wynn, ABC News, Atlanta.
Attorneys challenging and defending a Biden administration immigration policy were in federal court today in downtown Victoria. The policy allows migrants to temporarily live and work in the U.S. for up to 2 years. Under the policy, migrants must go through an online application process, have a financial sponsor, and undergo background and security checks. The state of Texas argues the parole program comes at a cost to county law enforcement agencies and to the taxpayer, while the defense argues these program enrollees are not part of the evidence presented by the state.
In Afghanistan. So first, these programs are lawful. Second, the harm that Texas bases its case on is completely unsubstantiated. It's irrelevant to this case. It has nothing to do with people like Mr. Sipe and the person that he has sought to sponsor. And third, this program confers immense and immeasurable benefits on communities all across the United States that people like Mr. Sipe embody.
He lost his nephew. So every day they are anxious to receive and welcome their loved ones through this parole program, which is the only avenue they have to be able to be safe, at least for a little while in the United States.
Eric Sipe, the defendant, intervener, and sponsor, gave testimony at the stand. The Washington native and his parents sponsored a Nicaraguan man to work on their family farm through the contested parole program. Investigators looking into what caused a driver to crash in Riverside Park last night. Authorities say the driver was going too fast. A 16-year-old girl who was a passenger in the vehicle had minor injuries and was transported to a hospital. Authorities arrested the driver. 22-year-old Anthony Estrada Jr. faces charges of DWI. He was also taken to the hospital for injuries not related to the crash. And emergency workers busy with this crash. Around noon today, a truck crashed into that culvert off Airline near Navarro. Police say the driver had a medical episode and died at the scene. The man who died was 60-year-old William Coffey of Victoria. More information now on the evacuation of Goliad High School Wednesday. The Goliad Advance Guard reports the evacuation happened after receiving information from the Goliad County Sheriff's Office of a threat made to the school. Sheriff Roy Boyd determined the threat came from an internet protocol address in China and determined the campus was safe after a thorough sweep. Hallettsville police Wednesday arrested 28-year-old Stefan Hill of Memphis as a suspect in a recent burglary. Hill was found to have almost 13 ounces of marijuana packaged for sale. Hill was taken into custody for possession of marijuana over 5 pounds. The National Weather Service issues an excessive heat warning for one area county, Lavaca County, under an excessive heat warning from noon until 9 o'clock Friday night. The National Weather Service says heat index values up to 113 degrees are expected. And let's take a first look at your forecast. In for First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Mac Pettis, here is meteorologist Howie Gordon. And Howie, are we going to have this kind of 100-degree weather through the weekend as well?
Yeah, these temperatures, we went 20 straight days to open up August, Don, and then that storm came through a couple days ago. We didn't get to 100. We got to 99 yesterday, but today back into the triple digits. You add the heat indices, that's right, pushing 110, and that looks to keep on going. Even though we have some light showers in the area, that should not keep us or push us to a cooler side for tomorrow. Here we are right now, still 90 plus, 95 plus across the area for heat indices. Winds not too bad, 5 miles per hour, a little bit lower on the calmer side. Overnight dropping down to just 77, but we're going to see the heat with maybe a chance of some light showers. We'll talk more about that coming up in just a bit, Don.
Howie, thank you. With the loss of city funding, 4 El Campo nonprofit agencies scrambling to make up the funding gap. The El Campo Leader News reports during budget talks, City Council voted 4-3 to eliminate all tax-supported funding for the El Campo Boys and Girls Club, after-school activities program, El Campo Little League, and the El Campo Heritage Center. That revenue now goes to recommended staff pay hikes. The same day former president was set to surrender in Atlanta, a House committee has launched an inquiry into Fulton County DA Fani Willis. Willis led the years-long investigation into election subversion that resulted in charges against Trump and 18 others. The Judiciary Committee will ask whether she was coordinating her investigation with the Justice Department. Lawmakers also want to know if she used federal dollars to complete her investigation. Fox News held the first Republican presidential debate Wednesday for the 2024 election. It took place in Milwaukee. The 8 presidential candidates touched on a variety of topics from the economy, climate, abortion, crime, and foreign policy. Former President Trump sat down for an interview with former Fox News host Tucker Carlson, which was released on X, formerly known as Twitter. The candidates will face off in another debate again next month in California. Here's your viewer poll this evening. Scan that QR code on your screen to vote now. Here's the question. Who do you think won the 2024 Republican primary debate last night? Former President Mike Pence, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, South Carolina Senator Tim Scott, former Governor Chris Christie, former Governor Nikki Haley, former Governor Asa Hutchinson, tech entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy, or Governor Doug Burgum. And the top vote getter among you of the candidates, 23% went for Nikki Haley. The overall top winner, 46%, was the did not watch. All right, we thank you for voting. We want to hear from you. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part. Needville and Never Never Land. The boys from Fort Bend County now headed to the U.S. Championship game of the Little League World Series to play El Segundo after that amazing win over Seattle yesterday. They're now in Danville, Pennsylvania, where they're having a little get-together on their off day.
What's going on, guys?
Needville Little League players were already all-stars heading into the tournament, but after his highlight reel game-saving play Wednesday, Dalen Martin has big league swagger.
Now, somebody asked me today, I got a text, I didn't know you had Derek Jeter on your team.
Manager Andy McRae says the outstanding play is part practice mixed with a whole lot of skill.
It was unreal for a 12-year-old kid to have the awareness to make that play.
Dalen Martin delivers Texas to the championship game.
Dalen says it all happened pretty fast.
I was just trying to knock the ball down, but it was in my glove. So I looked and I saw him like halfway there. So I just spun around and threw it, and he was just out.
That's amazing to see.
The play even impressing former big league players like Xavier Scruggs, who's calling games here for ESPN.
From a major league perspective, those aren't easy to make either.
Scruggs says the big play came at a big moment with a game on the line. Another reason he's so impressed by that highlight reel performance.
You mentioned the type of moment to be able to do it with the game on the line, that makes it that much bigger.
For Dalen, it's another play that gets Deedville closer to their ultimate goal, becoming world champions.
Practicing every day for the whole summer and just being around each other makes us a lot better team, and it makes us do this stuff in practice. We do it in games.
Needville, population 3,089. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell so then when you're on YouTube, you can see Crossroads Today. Stay with us. Coming up on 25 News now at 10. The presumed body of Alicia Watts discovered by authorities a month after she went missing. Also ahead, the driver in the fatal bus crash in Ohio facing charges. One child died in the crash. Shooting in Orange County, California. Authorities say the retired police officer who opened fire at the bike bar entered and first shot his estranged wife and her dinner companion before firing at random. A woman dining with the shooter's estranged wife was among 3 people who were killed. 5 others were hurt. One person who died was a man who approached the shooter in the bar's parking lot, where the shooter had gone to get additional guns from his car. The 3rd victim was another man. Police in North Carolina believe they have found the body of a woman who's been missing for more than a month. The remains, which authorities say are likely Alicia Watts, were discovered near Norman, a neighboring county close to Moore County. Authorities also took her boyfriend, James Dunmore, into custody on murder charges. He was with her the last time she was seen alive on July 16th.
This is not the outcome that we had been hoping for, but by finding Alicia today, it can bring some closure. I hope and I pray it brings some closure to family and friends moving forward.
The couple was heading to Charlotte in her SUV at the time. 2 days later, Dunmore was found unresponsive in the same vehicle in an apparent suicide attempt. He was convicted 3 months ago for kidnapping a woman he was previously in a relationship with before he was meeting this woman. Now a man is facing charges in relation to the deadly school bus crash Tuesday in Ohio. 35-year-old Hermanio Joseph faces a charge of vehicular manslaughter. One child on the bus died and several were injured after the minivan Joseph was driving crossed the center line, striking the oncoming school bus. Court records show he had a state-issued identification card and a driver's license from Mexico, which was invalid due to his immigration status. The crash happened on the first day of school. More fallout on the possible impact of climate change. A new projection warns of possible epidemic of Zika and dengue fever with the rising temperatures.
Researchers at the University of Michigan's Department of Epidemiology studied climate change and mosquito transmission models in 4 Brazilian cities. Both the Zika virus and dengue fever are passed to humans from mosquito bites. Warmer temperatures encourage mosquitoes to reproduce, which means more mosquitoes and an increase in biting rates. The Zika virus is very dangerous for pregnant people as it can cause birth defects in unborn babies. The Zika virus can also be passed from an infected partner to a pregnant person. Dengue fever can be fatal if untreated. Health departments continue to monitor the spread of diseases carried by mosquitoes. With this Medical Minute, I'm Tim Pulliam, ABC News.
Homeowners in a California community buried in mud by Tropical Storm Hilary still digging out. This is just one neighborhood in Cathedral City near Palm Springs. Mud still piled up around homes, with several cars still immovable. Wednesday, neighbors and strangers brought shovels and heavy equipment to clear driveways and front yards, helping each other dig out from the storm. City leaders say they're working to remove debris.
Few showers, but the real news, I guess, is the real news. Yeah, we dropped under 100 for 2 days. Now we're putting up another string of 100-degree plus here in the Crossroads. We'll talk all about it straight ahead. All right, back into the 100s. Why do I say that? Because we went August 1st to August 20th, 100 degrees plus every single day. Then our tropical storm knocked us down. Yesterday, we got right up to 99. We almost got there, but today, back into the 100s. So the heat continues, and we'll keep an eye on the Gulf. We'll talk about that in a couple minutes. So 104, we were at 103 earlier, recalibrated, and we tied a record set back in 1924. So almost 10 degrees above average, triple digits and beyond. Another hot one here in the crossroads. Now, what's happened today? Sea breeze moving inland, a little bit of moisture, the sun destabilizing us, that unstable air. Yeah, we're seeing a few pop-up showers, widely scattered. So really, most areas, if not all, staying completely on the dry side. Here's what we got for our winds. Winds on the calm side. Several hours ago, we were seeing them whipping around to about 30-mile-per-hour gusts. So yeah, winds on the calm side. What does this mean? The winds have kind of lessened with some of that low-level moisture from our rain the other day. Yeah, we could see some areas of patchy fog. I'm expecting it to be on the really light side. If you do run into some of these areas, again, you want to slow it down just to be careful. Your visibility can become impaired. So where are we in terms of dew points? All right, not too bad on the coast. 75, get away from the water. Some spots in the 60s, but hey, we saw some heat indices pushing 110 today. Here we are after nightfall. Still a real field temperature of 85 plus pretty much across the viewing area. Some spots still creeping around 100 degrees. Here we are at about almost 10:30 at night. So looking ahead, here is what we have. Now, there could be some more moisture moving into the area later on in the week, and that would spell for higher heat indices. At the same time, though, if our ambient temperatures are down, they kind of work. They kind of work in reverse or work the same at times. But I am expecting triple-digit temperatures. Thus, heat indices should flirt with the 110-degree range. Why is all this happening? Here's what we got. So we got high pressure. It's holding strong. It should move off a little bit. That'll open up the door for Friday and a Saturday where we could see some showers. We're seeing some Gulf moisture move up into the area, but after the weekend, we'll start to see high pressure move back into the area. That'll tighten up our grip, and there go our rain chances for the most part, even though we're going to have a few days, I'll show you on the 7-day, still in that 30-40% range. Here's our marine forecast. So 91 for our water. With seas at 2 feet, yeah, bays will stay on the smooth side. All right, I said keep an eye on the Gulf. We got some features down here. Yeah, some of these features we'll keep an eye on. This one here, eventually probably going to hit Florida more than likely, then branch out and take off. But yeah, so we're going to keep an eye on this one. But we do have some activity here in the Gulf, and that's going to bring some of our rain, not an immediate threat for a large storm. And then we still have Franklin out there, hurricane. Now, if you are Nevada, if you are Bermuda, then yeah, you could be having some impact from this storm. Other than that, really just staying in the middle of the ocean. We got another feature in the northern Atlantic, and then one in the southern Atlantic. I'll keep an eye on everything. I'll let you know. We're going to keep everybody safe with ample warnings around here. Overnight, 77 degrees. Then for tomorrow, 101 degrees. Mostly sunny. I'm going to keep us with about a 20-30% chance of some showers from destabilization from the sun. Looking ahead to the rest of the week, as I've been mentioning, yeah, we got some 30-40% for some rains. Again, better odds that we stay on the drier side. Temperatures, again, right back into the triple digits with heat indices pushing 110 plus, really, for much of the week. For more weather, news, and sports, you can go to our app. That's at crossroadstay.com, and that is free with any Android and iPhone. And now we go to Sports with Gino.
Thanks, Howie. Two Tigers battle it out on the football field tomorrow. We hear from them after the break. At Crossroads, the athlete of the week is a familiar face out of Goliad. Sports reporter Zach Brown has more.
Goliad star senior Kyla Hill has been a big part of their athletic program since her freshman year. Over the years, she has made it to state and won gold in the hurdles, and now she is a leader on the #1 team in Class 3A.
We haven't been first in a while, so I feel like there's maybe like a little bit of pressure, but not too much. Obviously, it's my senior year, so I definitely want to make it as far as possible, make it back to that state championship.
Since the 2015-2016 school year, Goliad volleyball has gone undefeated in district every year. Kyla Hill says the girls handle the expectations very well to help her set up for her 17 kills against Yoakum. They now have a new freshman setter in Isabel Sanchez, who she says the team has great chemistry with. With it being her senior year, she doesn't want to be the ones that break that winning streak, as she hopes to make another push for a state championship out on the volleyball court. 17 kills and being a huge part of Goliad athletics is why Kyla Hill is your athlete of the week.
And speaking of Goliad, T-1 day until the start of the 2023 football season, and two big cats are battling it out tomorrow in South Texas. Excuse me. Goliad had its first 10-win season in 4 years last year and looking to build off of that season. Head coach Kevin Salazar is back at the helm and knows the season opener is against the #4 ranked Tidehaven Tigers. Salazar said the team lost 4 offensive linemen, but they are already meshing together.
You know, the big thing, we just want to focus on ourselves getting better every day and every week. You know, we don't really worry about rankings and numbers. Our deal is just to progress on a weekly basis and take it 1 week at a time, get a little bit better every week.
The Tigers have a new man under the center, and his name is Colby Rehnquist. The senior earned the starting job after a grueling offseason. The quarterback said the defense is the identity of the team, but the offense is nothing to scoff at.
It means a lot. First day of practice, we had 3 quarterbacks. They're out here fighting for a spot, and I mean, we all worked hard, and I just came out on top. I mean, I really appreciate like the other quarterbacks pushing me. It just makes me better, and I'm glad I got the spot.
The Goliad and Tidehaven Tigers meet in El Matin in the first game of the season. Kickoff is at 7:30. 25 News Now reporter Adarius McCormick will be there with highlights for the CFL show tomorrow. The Edna Cowboys come into tomorrow's game against the East Bernard Brahmas as the favorite. Edna head coach Jimmy Mitchell said the deep run into the state semifinal game last year made the team a lot closer, and he is looking to win the whole thing for the first time in Edna's history.
You know, keeping them grounded, focusing on working hard every day, concentrating on today and not looking ahead and all that stuff. So that's a big focus of ours, and of course working hard, and these guys are working extremely hard, so I couldn't be prouder of them for that, you know.
The Cowboys will look to rope in the Brahmas and start its state aspirations with a win. Kickoff is at 7:30 in Edna. And lastly, don't forget the CFL show is tomorrow at 10, and we will have all the highlights and scores from all around the area, and we're looking to have a great year this year. That's your sports. Don, back to you.
All right, Gino, thank you, and stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 10, we'll take a last look at your weather. Plus, the biggest movie of the summer is coming to an even bigger big screen. Morning anchor and meteorologist Parker Cox reports that a rare blue supermoon coming in next week. You can read the full story on our website, crossroadstoday.com, and follow Parker on X at Human Barometer, spelled with a 0. Hundreds of crosses lining the fence along the Lahaina bypass in remembrance of those who were lost in the devastating wildfires in Maui. Organizers say they will keep adding to the monument to make sure everyone will be remembered. They hope the visual display will bring comfort and healing to those driving into Lahaina and driving out. So far, there are a total of 115 crosses, each adorned with a single flower. There's a moderate drought in Shenandoah Valley region of Virginia, and it's impacting some apple orchards. Paws Orchard in Quicksburg says the lack of rainfall is affecting their apples. They have apples that were ripe for a week, but their size is not big enough for them to pick. Renee Sharp says if they don't get adequate rainfall soon, they will have to rely on other local orchards for apples, if they have any. And, you know, we've just had a little bit of rain here at the station this afternoon, and we should mention again that tomorrow is the 6th anniversary of Hurricane Harvey hitting the Texas Gulf Coast. First Rockport, soon after that here. And you know there are still people here who are trying to rebuild from the second costliest natural disaster in the history of the United States.
Wow. Yeah, that was tomorrow's the anniversary. Obviously, we are in peak hurricane season at the moment. The Gulf is heating up, but at the moment we're okay at the moment. I mean, things could change on a dime. It's the way the weather is. I'm keeping an eye on everything. Now, we are seeing some widely scattered showers, or excuse me, scattered shower. I wouldn't say widely, just in a few spots. For the most part, we are staying on the dry side. It'll be 77 overnight. Now, a little bit of moisture that's in the area. Yeah, we could see some overnight fog and into the morning, but back up to 101 tomorrow. Looking ahead to the rest of the week, very much on the hot side and mostly on the dry side, Don.
Howie, thank you. And finally tonight, Barbie will be on IMAX for 1 week starting September 22nd. Warner Brothers says certain theaters in North America and abroad will offer it. As a bonus, director Greta Gerwig says the IMAX version will include some added footage. Barbie is the hit of the summer, already grossing more than $1.3 billion. That officially makes it the highest grossing movie at the domestic box office this year. It's the highest money-making movie in the history of Warner Brothers Studio. That's a long time. And because it hit that certain level, Margot Robbie, who plays Barbie in the movie, now will get $50 million.
Oh,
extra.
That's a lot of Barbie mansions that you can buy.
Oh, yeah. What, she have a quota of, hey, if she hit $1 billion?
Yes.
Wow.
$50 million.
Kind of like a contract in the NFL.
Wow.
At a certain amount of yards, you get more money.
Yeah, that's a big thing. You think Ken will get his own movie?
We'll get a sequel. All right, thanks for joining for 25 News Now at 10. Join Carolina Astroe, meteorologist Trey Mining. 25 News Now sunrise starting at 5 a.m. Good night.